Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Sparring Sessions podcast. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down UFC 315, preview, predictions, all that, give you picks for every fight. But first, I'm not doing this alone. Usually you expect one of my normal co-hosts here, but now we have a very special guest today, Rally De Silva, BFO champion. How are you doing today, Rally?
Good, brother. Excited to get on here and break down some fights. I love breaking down fights, so it's good to be able to do it on a platform with a good friend here. Let's go.
Awesome. And if I remember correctly from our last chat, you actually used to be an MMA YouTuber yourself, huh? You had what did you do? Podcast, or was it more like shorts?
I used to do like MMA like news breakdown stuff. Like I would
Okay.
just see what's going on and like throw the MMA and kind of like break it down quickly. And then I would also do the breakdown and predictions of like coming up fights and stuff like that. So I did that for a bit until my YouTube account got banned from all the copywriting stuff, and I just said, forget this. It's too much work for me to like restart a whole account after putting so much like a couple of like I think it was like 5 or 6 months into it. So I
Wow.
was like, there's
Okay.
no way I'm gonna do that again. So
Well, that's probably smart. You know, you're an up and coming fighter, a child, an acting career too. Probably pretty busy. I'm guessing MMA YouTube falls on the bottom of that rung. But yeah, great to have you here. Let's jump right into UFC 315. Go down to the Bell Center, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. start time. You know how it is for pay-per-views. 12
yes, sir.
fights. 12 out of 24 fighters are ranked, so that's pretty good for a 2025 card. I think that's the best rate we've had so far. Mostly stay together. We'll talk about a short notice fight in a bit, and Burns and Morales were supposed to be on this card. They got flexed to next week's main event at the Apex. So bummer. I was hoping to see him. I'm actually going to be there live myself, so I was hoping to see him
Oh,
live in person. That was going to be
no
a
way. You're gonna be
great
there?
fight. Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna be there too, man.
oh really?
Yeah,
We'll have to say, yeah, a
flying
friend
on
of
there.
mine. Well, I'll tell you after. We got some friends in common attending too.
Sweet.
But yeah, Radley, you know, you're a Canadian guy. I don't know how many UFC Canadian cards you've been to over the past few years. Is probably one of the better ones on paper, but card rating as a whole, what are you giving it? What do you like about this card?
Yeah, so I actually was at all the last, like maybe I've actually been to all the last cards in Canada
Oh,
except for
okay.
the Ontario one. So I went to all the
Yeah.
Vancouver ones, the Edmonton one, just didn't go to the Ontario one, and now I'm going to this one. But I feel like definitely this is actually probably, even though some people kind of bag on the main event a little bit because Bilal's got like a I guess a bad rep with like casual fans, but I mean I still think it's a pretty stacked card, and like. The only other one that I felt was like as stacked as this was the Oliveira one when he was there, but that was
That was
very
good.
top heavy. Like it was just like him and Amanda Nunes, like two title fights, but it was just very top heavy. Like a lot of it was Canadian talent, and like they don't have the biggest names, but this one definitely you got guys from all over the world coming around, so they you can't really complain about this one, man. Like even if you're not a big fan of the main event, like the undercard and all the fights under that are like some big names. You got Jose Aldo, and
Mhm.
yeah, I'm excited for this one for sure.
Yeah, we got a bunch of good fights. You know, 12 out of 24 ranked. I said it earlier. Some legends, pound for pound, top 5 pound for pound fighters. Granted, women's pound for pound fighters, but still, it's that's pretty good when you get it. I'm gonna I'm gonna give it like I do like a number rating or sorry a letter rating like in school. I'm probably gonna give it like a B plus.
Okay.
If it had like Burns and Morales on one more exciting fight, that would have been probably like a B plus, A minus. But
Yeah, that Burns
yeah,
and Morales fight, I didn't even think about that, how much that would have actually added to the card because you got like
uh,
a high level vet versus a really surging prospect. So that
yeah,
would have added a lot to that card. I'm excited for that Benoit Saint Denis fight though. We
yeah,
definitely like to watch him
yeah.
live.
That one's gonna be great. They picked a great spot. It's kicking off the pay per view. You know, get your
Oh
uh,
man.
it's going to be excitement either way,
Yeah.
whoever wins. But we'll get to that in a little bit. First, our first fight, a guy who's known himself to be a little bit on the other side, a little bit. Maybe some people call him a little bit boring, but I think he's going to have a fun stylistic matchup here. So these are bandweights we're talking about. Brad Katona is a plus 145. Bekzat Almakhan minus 175. Brad Katona is 6 years older at 33 years old. Almakhan has a 3.5 reach advantage. If you guys don't remember, Almakhan is the guy who Umar Nurmagomedov fought short notice and knocked him down, but still lost. And Brad Katona, 2-time tough winner. So really, we always let the guests go first. Who's your pick here?
And I think this fight kind of goes a bit, I probably most likely is going the distance because Brad Katona's super hard to finish.
Yeah.
But he's also super crafty, man. Like people, I don't know, I think they think he has like a lack of power in his hands and all that stuff. But the fact that he's so well-rounded, really good chin, good anti-grappling, really good footwork and all that stuff. I'm not super like there's not too much footage for me to go into for his opponent at the UFC level, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Bakhtoni has so much more like you can look at. It's like endless tape of him at UFC level. So I'm probably gonna take him by decision, man. I like how active he is on the feet. I like how he's very very hard to finish. I really don't see him getting finished. And he usually squeaks decisions by, and I'm hoping that like the Canadian the Canadian judges are gonna help him just get over that finish line. But I think it's gonna be a close one, man. Like Bakhtoni always makes it a scrappy fight. And if we're gonna have a close decision in Canada, I'm gonna lean slightly towards Rakatona probably to get it done.
I'm actually with you. Dual underdogs just to kick off the card here. For me, it's the wrestling. Katona, Almakhan got wrestled and by Umar Nurmagomedov, great wrestler, but I still think Katona can replicate some of that. I mean, he beat another great guy, in my opinion, Timur Valiev on the Contender Series. And I think he can take him down. And like you said, just kind of make it a grimy fight, maybe get the Canadian rub a little bit. Yeah, should be a good fight.
Yeah, man, and Bakatona is physically very strong for his size.
Oh my God,
Like,
he
you
is
can tell.
jacked.
Yeah, you can tell a lot when he holds guys up against the fence. Like you can see he has that strength and like yeah, his experience. He's a good wall wrestler. Like I said, he's very well rounded. He's good wall wrestling, good at all that stuff. So, like I said, we know it's gonna be a close one. We know it's gonna be a grimy fight. And in Canada, let's hope for the underdog to get it done.
Let's get a Canadian kicking off the card. A Canadian winning. Next up, no Canadians here. We have featherweights Daniel Santos and Jeongyeong Lee. This is one. Daniel Santos stepping in for Gavin Tucker, so you would have had a Canadian there. But still a good fight either way. We have first up, let me find it here. Brand new fight. Daniel Santos is 2-1 in the UFC, coming off that unanimous decision win over Johnny Munoz Jr. On the other side, Jeongyeong Lee, 11-2 overall, 2-1 in the UFC. He got KO'd by Hyder Emil last fight out, so that's a pretty acceptable loss here. He's got a 6-inch reach advantage. I will take this one. We kind of alternate here. I'm going Daniel Santos here. I like the shoot box Diego Lima guys a lot, and Jeongyeong Lee on their side just got KO'd by Hyder Emil in a minute and 5 seconds. And I like the shoot box guys. Daniel Santos, very tough. He's got hands. He can wrestle. He's got some submissions on his record as well. Let's the Brazilians are pretty popular, at least if we look at Charles Oliveira and Manu Nunes, pretty popular in Canada. So we'll go faux Canadian here. Make it 2 in a row. Are you with me, or are you picking the South Korean?
Man, there's quite a bit to unpack here. Like, I'm with you on all the skill ends, but I'm just kind of worried about the move up in weight, because Santos is a natural 35er and he's fought his UFC career at 35. And I'm pretty sure he's taken this on really short notice, right? Like about a week and a half.
Yeah. A week and a half,
so, there's that too. I mean, Yeah, Jung, I don't know how well rounded it is. I don't think that if you take him to the ground, he's not going to have a slick jiu-jitsu game to work off his
Mhm.
back. He's not going to be throwing triangles and all that stuff. I think he's just going to be trying to force his way back up. So nothing on on the offensive end to worry about if you get him down to his back. He's going to swing really crazy, and the bad part about that is he's gonna swing really crazy, but his chin doesn't seem like it's gonna be able to hold up a big brawl, right?
Exactly.
Especially because he just got knocked out recently. So the only worry I have is the size discrepancy, and we'll have to see how they look when, like, the weigh-ins come. But as
Mhm.
far as skills go, I'm kind of with you on it. Like, Santos is like a miniature Oliveira, right? He's got the same hair, he's got like a back tattoo, the same
Yeah.
stance. Like they're gonna go for the same things, right? They're gonna go for a flying knee, get into the clinch, bang it out. If you try to take him down, they'll go for submissions off his back. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with you on the tiny Oliveira here to get the win. And also, when I noticed that smaller weight guys, I noticed that when they move up in weight, they actually do better sometimes.
Mm.
It's still like depending on how much bigger the guy is, but I'm more scared of a guy at a lower weight class, like let's say 55 and downwards, to when they go down a weight class. I'm actually more worried
Yeah.
because the speed difference and all that stuff, and the chin and the dehydrating, and doesn't know how it's gonna affect his brain. But I do kind of like when they go up because then they're like more hydrated. They're have better cardio and all that, and they're already used to dealing with faster people. So I think he will have obviously the speed advantage. I just want to see how they square up when they do the weigh-ins. But I think
Yeah.
skill wise, Santos all day.
Yeah, it's tricky. 3 inches of height, 6 inches of reach for a Lee. Granted, I do like what you said about smaller guys going up. We saw, well, we haven't, we were recording this on Friday, so we haven't seen the fight yet. But this weekend, Davison Figueiredo moving up from flyweight, having a ton of success.
Hmm.
And you're a guy who would know a thing or two about weight cuts. Let me ask you this: if sometime in your career you move divisions, you think you'll be moving up to lightweight, or are you a small featherweight? What do you think would be down to
For
bantamweight?
sure, man. My first fight back after like a long hiatus I had, it was actually at lightweight,
Okay.
155. And a little inside knowledge for this fight, when I got noticed that Gavin Tucker pulled out, I right away called my manager. I was
Ooh.
like, get me in there. And then I took a step on the scale, and then I said, never mind. I'm way, way too heavy. Way too heavy to make 145. So as soon as I saw that, I was all excited. I messaged him right away before I even stepped on the scale, and as soon as I did, I'm like, "That's not happening." So I'm really like on the very end of the weight when it comes to my
Okay.
weight class, but I don't have a problem getting down to the weight. So right now, it's like it's no, I don't have any thoughts of moving up. But if I did, it would only make my life easier. So yeah.
Exactly. Eat a few more brownies or whatever you're. I
I
mean,
definitely won't be moving down. Let's just say.
yeah. Well, you're a pretty big guy in there compared to some of the guys you fought. So I definitely see it. But yeah, lightweight, featherweight, great weight classes. You got plenty of good options down there.
Yeah, so it looks
Yeah,
like we're on the same page for the Santos then.
looks like we are 2 for 2 so far.
For
I
two.
don't know if we're gonna keep it in this next. You know what? I'm gonna predict. I think we are gonna make it 3 for 3 with this middleweight fight, moving way up in the weight to 185. Marc-Andre Barriault is on a 3 fight losing streak.
Oh,
Most recently in Edmonton, he got KO'd by Dustin Stoltzfus. On the
yeah, I
other
was
side,
there
oh, you were there. Yeah, that was one of the more exciting points in the card, if I remember correctly.
for
Even
sure.
if the Canadian guy got KO'd.
Yeah.
On the other side, Bruno Silva on a 4 fight losing streak. He has lost 6 of 7, and he's getting another shot. Which good on him. I don't want anybody to get fired, but at some point, But yeah, both guys are 35, a little older. 6'1" for Barrio, 6 foot for Bruno Silva. So around the same size. It's you, Bradley. Two guys who are on pretty extensive losing streaks. Who do you think is going to break theirs, or are we going to get like a draw or no contest weirdness in there?
Man, unfortunately, I hate to do this. I'm gonna have to go with Bruno Silva, man.
Oh wow,
Yeah, I
interesting.
thought just thinking about it, like I honestly didn't even know this fight was on the card, but I usually do better when I don't look into the fights too much. Like whenever I overanalyze is when I have problems like picking the right ones. But when I look at it like at face value and not kind of try to take away just kind of don't worry too much about the losing streak because they're gonna fight each other. There's gonna be a winner, right?
Yeah.
Um, Marc-Andre Barriault doesn't have like a lights out grappling game. He doesn't
Hmm.
have a lights out striking game. His chin has been tested way too many times, too often.
Hmm.
Silva, he doesn't have like the best cardio, but every fight he's going in there like to the end. You know what I mean? He's not a guy who's
Hmm.
gonna quit. He doesn't have that. He's not a quitter. Like he's not one of those guys that gets tired and just gives up. He will keep brawling and doing it till the end. And people forget, man. I don't know if I've heard that one, but people forget. He went toe to toe with our boy Alex Pereira, didn't he?
He did, yeah, yeah, yeah. He
So,
was
I mean,
the
what are you
decision.
expecting? What are you expecting Barriault to do here? Like, you have to look at a route to victory. How are you expecting him to win this one? To take him down and stuff? Didn't he fight Weidman? Weidman couldn't get him down. Who has a better grappling game, Weidman or Barriault? Like,
At this point,
is
oh, I don't know.
yeah, I'm gonna say Weidman still, but because he's just a natural grappler and
Yeah,
he's like really good. But like you got to look at it. So his best chance of victory is attrition, and Silva's not that quick. He's not. He doesn't give up that easily. So, and I've seen him go the distance in hard fights. So I mean, and you're gonna basically put Barrios' chin against Silva's power right now, and it's not the best of times. Like I'm saying, like his route to victory isn't the greatest.
yeah.
His chin's gonna get tested, and I'm kind of thinking that Bruno might crack it again. Unfortunately, I hope not. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm for a pick right now. I'm probably gonna take Silva.
Uh, we break our streak. I thought you were going to choose the Canadian here.
I would love to, man, but I got to be real, right? The
You
people
got to be
watching this,
real.
they want the real
I
opinion.
respect it. I respect it. I just think I really didn't like how Bruno Silva looked in his last fight. He looked pretty slow. And I just he kind of you said it. He isn't the best cardio. I think he kind of just gassed out 2 or 3 minutes into the fight and just didn't do anything. And if anything, I think
Who was the last guy he fought?
uh, Ismail Nardiev, um, who is exactly right, guy who was in the UFC a long time ago, and then left and came back.
I remember
So,
now. Yeah, I looked into that guy. He did a lot better after he left the UFC, and
oh yeah,
people were picking him to win against Silva, which I thought was weird but they were right. Yeah, he looked way better than Silva. So yeah, good
yeah.
continue.
It's one of those I just like. It's going to be a grimy fight again. Maybe he does get the Canadian rub. Maybe his nickname's Power Bar for a reason. Maybe he just power bars it and out cardios him. Might be a little sloppy. Might be a little middleweights can get a little sloppy sometimes. But yeah, hopefully we do get an action fight and hopefully we get a Canadian winning.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed here. I would much rather, I'm always rooting for the Canadian guys, but just for this video, I gotta give my 2 cents on what I think. But like I said, it's gonna be his attrition versus Bruno's power and striking.
Oh yeah,
He could get it done, but it's one of those fights where you don't want to empty the bank on. That's for sure.
no,
I
you
wouldn't put it
don't.
in a parlay. It's probably gonna bust it no matter what. So
You're not gonna feel good about it either way. Um, yeah, next fight, light heavyweights. Navajo Sterling minus 265 versus Ivan Erslan plus 215. If you remember, Navajo Sterling was the guy who made his debut in the UFC against Tuco Tokos at UFC Tampa. I was actually there. 7 inches of reach over Ivan Erslan. who was a KSW guy, not like a champion or anything, but he was a KSW guy. Came over, lost a split decision to Iwan Cutelaba. So yeah, this one is me. I'll kick it
Was it
off.
a split decision? I thought I got finished.
No, you're thinking of Ibo Aslan.
Oh, yeah, Ebo lost to. Yeah. So who is he fighting?
He's fighting Navajo Stirling.
Ebo Aslan did lose to uh the guy you just mentioned, right?
Cutelaba. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he got finished
Um,
by some kind of arm triangle or something.
yeah, that was such a silly fight. He lost first round. He just got. It was an Iwan Cutelaba fight. You know how they go.
Yeah.
It's craziness all the entire time. But yeah, so we'll actually talk about Cutelaba in the next fight. This is my pick. You got to go with Sterling here. He's the much better striker. Undefeated, 6-0. He's got the power. He's got 7 inches of reach over Erslan. And yeah, Erslan's lost a few times. He's gotten KO'd. He's gotten subbed. I think this is a pretty clear Navajo Sterling win. Even at minus 265, I'll still pick him. Are you with me, or are
And
you going with what is this, Croatian?
who was the
Ivan Erslan?
last dude Navajo fought again?
Tuco Tokos.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going Navajo then. I was gonna say, like, going split decision with Cutelaba does mean you're probably at the UFC level.
Yeah.
But I think also at the same time, the UFC brass clearly wants to build up Navajo Sterling. They're not going to give him a fight. They don't think he can win, right? I don't know if they really care about the Croatian market, but I know they love the New Zealand, Australian market,
Oh yeah.
and they also love natural strikers, guys that are kickboxers. They love those guys, right? They like building them up. They like giving them good matchups. So, and on top of that, I think that it was good to see him go the distance his last fight. To see how he just deals with he did slow down a little bit, obviously expected. He's a big guy, right? But I don't know if Ivan has any kind of grappling to really make it a gritty fight like that. And he's going to be giving up a lot of size. Navajo's pretty big. He's much younger, bigger, younger. He's got the striking advantage. He's slick. He's kind of reminds me of that other dude from City Kickboxing who just beat Jan.
Carlos Solberg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got kind of that kind of
Yeah.
style of kickboxing, like very long, and they like to keep it pretty, right? They got good check left hooks and all that stuff. Just the city kickboxing kind of style for MMA.
Yeah.
And it works really well for MMA kickboxing. So I think based on the fact that Ivan's not going to be giving up size, he's not a lights out grappler. I would say if he's the bigger guy and the better grappler, then I'd probably give him an edge because that's just a really shitty situation to be in. But if you're the smaller guy and your grappling edge isn't like great or anything like that, then you're probably going to get picked apart from the much longer, younger, better striker. So we'll go Navajo.
Yeah. It's he's a KO guy, Erslan, that's for sure. 10 of 14 wins by KO. So he wants to get in there and do. But I agree. Going to get picked apart. Just better striker overall.
Yep.
Next up, the aforementioned Iwan Cutelaba is fighting Modestas Bukauskas at light heavyweight. These are two, you could call them vets. I feel like once you hit 8 or 9 fights in the UFC, you're a vet. So yeah, Cutelaba actually on a 2-fight winning streak, which is kind of crazy. Just for how long he's been around the UFC. Modestas Bukauskas too. Lost a bunch in the UFC, went to Cage Warriors, won a bunch, came back, been doing really well since. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Bukauskas is definitely the bigger guy, 2 inches of reach, 3 inches of reach, 2 inches of height, and just seems like the overall bigger guy. Cutelaba on the other side, a little more experienced. So really, this one's yours. We were just talking about him. Do you think Cutelaba is gonna do another one?
Oh man, just looking like I said, I didn't even really look at the card top to bottom like that. I just know the main card, But just when I think about this one at face value, I'm probably gonna lean towards Bukauskas. I mean, he's not gonna be doing what Erslan did, just brawl it out and then
Yeah.
just fall into it. His grappling obviously isn't like his main thing, but I think he's well rounded enough. A lot of guys try to take him down. I see him like get held up against the fence a lot. So I think that his game has developed a bit for that counter wrestling, and I think he's got like some submissions too in the UFC. So definitely more well rounded than the last guy Cutelaba fought. It's just hard because Cutelaba has a lot higher level experience in the UFC. He's fought like former title challengers, and he's fought Ankalaev twice, and
Yeah.
he's fought a lot of high level dudes. And
A lot.
it seems like he's on a little bit of a resurgence, but I don't know if it's just the right matchups that kind of happened for him. So I'm probably gonna have to go. Probably gonna go with Bukauskas, man. This is not
Yeah.
a confident pick whatsoever. I just think it's kind of more his time right now, right? Kutulaba's kind of had his time, and then lately he's had some good matchups. But I think if Bukauskas doesn't get into like a crazy brawl with him and make a mistake, I think he should be able to. He's a slicker guy on the feet for sure. He's
Yeah.
longer. He has the physical attributes, younger. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bukauskas to get a decision win. I think he's gonna point fight on the stand up, avoid the takedowns when he needs to, and just edge the rounds and get a decision win.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Almost everything you said, except for one thing that surprised me. These guys are the same age. They're both 31. I would not
Whoa.
have guessed that coming in, right?
No, not at all. Kutalaba seems like he's like 36 or something.
Exactly. Um,
Wow, that's
yeah,
actually crazy.
yeah, bigger, stronger, probably the better boxer. Doesn't isn't going to get taken down really. So Bukauskas is going to be a fun fight, but another one of those, who really knows who's going to win. Odds are even money for a reason.
Oh, they're even money. Yeah, that's some good lining for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This next one though, we got a pretty big favorite. This one surprised me, the odds at least. Women's flyweight, number 7 ranked Jessica Andrade. She's a big underdog, plus 230 against number 9 Jasmine Jasudavicius, Canadian, minus 280. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, Jasudavicius is 6 inches taller, and she has 6 inches of reach over Andrade, who was small even for strawweight. She's coming up now. So yeah, this one I'll kick this one off. I'm going Jasudavicius. I mean, I think she just kind of hosses her around for 3 rounds. Andrade has been on the decline for a while, and I mean, she gets taken down. We saw Blanchfield and Tatiana Suarez take her down and submit her. I think Jasmine can do the same here. Big win for probably the best Canadian right now, I think. Is that bad to say? And are you with
Yeah,
me on
I
her?
think I think Malott kind of lost the steam after that. What was that? The O'Neal Magny fight.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, he was probably the best prospect before that. Jourdain's been in the UFC for a while now, so and yeah, she's the closest to a title right now for sure.
Yeah.
So you got to give it to her. She's the leading the way. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I think she's Andrade has a lot of problems when it comes to people like getting her people who want to take you down and keep you down. She's kind of a bit of a turtle on her back. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she's got, which comes with a lot of those guys with that kind of style, with that kind of power. And Jazz is pretty big. She's pretty big for the weight class, and she's got good top pressure. Like not very often she gives up the top position when she gets on top of you. So when she gets on top, she keeps you down, and she's got good submissions and stuff like that. So, and she's not terrible on the feet either, right? She's
No.
shown like no one's knocked her out on the feet. She fought Natalia Silva,
Mm-hmm.
who's really slick on the feet.
Oh yeah. Talk about
Really
her
like,
later.
yeah, she's probably one of the best on the feet at her weight class. So she went with her. Yeah, she's been taking down all the girls, beat Miranda Maverick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just her time right now. You can kind of feel it coming, right? She's like right there at the cusp of a title, and they're giving her that test, the Andrade test. She's like the Neil Magny of the
She
women's
really
division right
is.
now. Harsh gatekeeper, but yeah, I definitely think Jazz is gonna take her down, probably
Mhm.
control most of the rounds, and if not, maybe get some kind of choke finish if Andrade gives it up for her.
I think that can happen. The odds aren't out yet, so we'll have to see. You know, we have a separate show just for betting. Once all the props come out, we'll have to see what Jasmine by sub maybe is. But yeah, sounds like we're together, and the odds are too minus 280. You're definitely paying a steep price if you're betting on her straight. Um, Next up, you just mentioned him, Mike Malott, welterweight, minus 205 versus Charles Radtke, also known as Chuck Buffalo. Malott was on a bit of a heater there, and then he got Neil Magny pretty sudden in the third round, just kind of gassed out. On the other side, Charles Radtke just beat Matthew Semelsberger, lost to Carlos Prates before that infamous knee. So yeah, this one's you, Radley. Last fight on the prelims. Are you going with your countryman, or are you picking the American dubs at him?
I'm gonna pick Malott. Oh my God, dude, this is a hard one. If you
This
actually look
is
at it, these guys are very similar. They're kind of like the Canadian and American version of each other, you know? I'd
yeah.
say maybe Radke has a little bit better wrestling, but I think Malott has better jujitsu. So it's
Hmm.
like it kind of evens out. And they're both pretty decent on the feet, right? They both swing really hard. Um, man, this is a really tough one to pick. Another one, like they're not doing they're not doing betters any favors on this card.
No, they're not.
They're just it's a good card. There's going to be really even matches, but it's not an easy one to pick. I'm probably gonna go with Malott, man. I think Neil Magny is one of those guys where you can't count him out. He's like gonna be in there from the first belt to that last belt unless you put him out. So and he would kind of I can tell he was really trying to take him out in that fight, and it really led to him gassing later on. But
Yeah.
in his last fight he fought was it Giles?
Yeah, Trevin Giles.
Yeah, I think I watched that one live, and I remember he played it super safe. Like
Yeah.
you could almost tell like he's like I cannot afford to lose this one. And
Oh yeah.
I think if he gets back to his style of throwing hard and like uh, having keeping the distance and stuff like that, I think it'll be good in this fight because Raki does leave openings in the striking. I mean, he just because he lost to Carlos Prates, though, you can't really take much away from him for that, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone's getting slapped by him, even way higher ranked guys. So you can't take too much away from that loss, but he does fight very open and very wild on the feet. And I do think he's also susceptible to getting guillotined or just getting submitted because I think his wrestling might be a bit better, but I like Malott's guillotines and chokes and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to edge Malott this one. I don't think it's going to be super exciting. I think he's going to play it safe as well, just
Yeah.
because of the power coming back. Coming back his way in this one, and if that's the case, then expect it to be another close fight, and and of course, the Malott Canadian rub is gonna be live definitely if he's gonna
Oh
play it safe. So I think it might be a close fight. It might even be one where people are saying it could have been a robbery, but I think just because of both guys have lots of power, Malott's got a lot riding on this one. He might play it safe, and because of that, it might go to decision. So I think I
yeah.
like him if it's a decision. If it's a finish, no,
It's
we'll just
tough.
leave it at that. We'll just leave it at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll take Malott.
Um, I'm going Mott too here. I just think he's smarter. I think he's got a real fight IQ. The phrase fight IQ gets overused definitely, but he's if anybody's got it, it's him. Striking coach at Team Alpha Male and Niagara Top Team. And yeah, he is not afraid to. He's kind of like Ian Gary, not afraid to do whatever it takes to win, even if it's boring, even if people are going to start booing. He's shown he's fine with that, and I think the jujitsu even the power, definitely the striking, all in his favor. The cardio, asked me 3 fights ago and I would have said yes, but apparently not. So looks like we're both on the Canadian here. Send us off into the next fight with a hopefully a good performance, but either way, hopefully a Canadian win. And this is a great fight to kick off the main card. Probably, in my opinion, the best fight on the card. Action wise, not stakes wise, but Benoît Saint Denis, the Frenchman, fighting Joel Alvarez. 13 ranked Benoît, BSD 15 for Joel Alvarez is a lightweight, of course. BSD 2-fight losing streak. You remember he got eye injury. I don't remember it being an eye injury. I thought it was like a forehead cut or something. Either way, to Moicano last year in Paris. Alvarez on the other side in Tampa. He had that cool submission and TKO over Drakkar Klose. I was there for that as well. We nobody knew what happened. But yeah, this one is, oh geez, I lost track. Yeah, this one's me. Okay. I'm going Joel Alvarez here. He's huge. He's so much bigger than Benoît Saint Denis is here. And him beating up Elvis Brenner, like finishing Elvis Brenner on the feet and then finishing Drakkar Klose, as well as his phenomenal ground game. I think this is just a bloody Joel Alvarez KO, the second or third round, maybe. Maybe he gets a gilly choke in there or something. Yeah, Spanish versus French, one of those tales all this time matchups. Who are you going with here?
Yeah, man, I agree with you completely. Like Alvarez is way too big for Benoît Saint Denis. He's known for his toughness, Benoît, and he's gonna have to display it this fight, man. I see a brutal a brutal fight for him, and you could just see like the trajectories of their careers. Like Benoît got shot up way too fast to the highest level, and it did not pay off. You could see that happen sometimes where guys get you know put on a pedestal too early, like Darren Till or whatever, and their
Oh yeah,
careers just are ended after that because they just go on a losing streak because they get put. It's just he wasn't ready to fight a guy like Dustin Poirier, and
yeah.
taking a beating like that, then fighting Moicano. It's just like that does something to your confidence, man. And just now it's like you see the opposite with Alvarez. Like he's got a steady rise up. I mean, he did fight Armin that one time, which was
Yeah, it
kind of a
happens.
beating. But other than that, he's got had like a pretty steady rise up the ranks, and this physically is not a good fight for Benoit, dude. He's gonna be eating it on the outside. He's not a slick striker. He's not known to be a slick striker. His style is marauding forward to try to get you down and land some savage ground and pound and get like a choke or something. Alvarez is gonna make him pay hard on
Oh
the
my God.
outside. He's gonna be savage. If he does get to the clinch, I can see elbows, knees lighting him up. And he's got a sneaky good submission game, man. Like
Oh yeah.
really good with his chokes and good triangles and stuff like that. So he's definitely no fish when it's gonna hit that. If it hits that area of the game, but I think he's just gonna damage Benoit a lot. And I don't know if he's gonna be able to hold up after the few beatings he's taken the last few fights. So just
Yeah.
skill wise, physicality wise, trajectory wise, everything is going towards Alvarez. So, well, how big of a favorite is he? Because I mean, we're both taking him, but I want to see if there's any value in that.
Minus 192 on
Oh
Alvarez.
wow, that's actually not bad. That's
Yeah.
actually not bad. So yeah, let's definitely Alvarez. Yeah, I can't wait for that fight. That's like one of the main reasons I want to go.
It's going to be great. And you're looking at two guys who have never won a fight by decision. Surprisingly, I think of them as KO guys in the UFC at least, but both of their wins mainly by submission as well. So a lot of pre-UFC submissions for both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you said it. These guys are Alvarez is bigger, submission game, Muay Thai. I love him. I just hope they don't make him fight Charles Oliveira next. That would break my heart as a fan of both of them.
Dang, yeah, that would actually be a hard fight for Charles too.
Yeah, oh, it would. All right, next up, women's flyweight, number 1 ranked Alexa Grasso, former champion, minus 198 versus number 5 Natalia Silva, who we just mentioned. I got to fix this graphic here. Alexa Grasso is a big underdog. Excuse me. Plus 160. Natalia Silva minus 198 on the other side. Natalia Silva on a long winning streak, most recently over Jessica Andrade, like we just talked about. Alexa Grasso had that trilogy with Valentina, lost the belt pretty convincingly in September. So kind of a cool stand-up fight, actually. I'm hoping. I think both women are pretty good strikers and will want to keep it there. So do you go with the rising new hot shit, or you go with the former champion established name? Who are you picking here?
This is actually, I would definitely just off the bat think Natalia Silva is gonna win it. But if the lines just get too wide, you got to think about Grasso, man. Like,
Yeah.
I know she's gonna have the boxing advantage, but the
Yep.
thing is, what has more reach, your legs or your arms, right? Natalia Silva arms are like her legs are like arms. She uses them like another set of arms, right? She like constantly with the kicks. Her footwork is going to be much better. Her takedown defense is shown to be very good, and she's going to be very hard to track down and hold down up against the fence. So I would have to say she's probably going to get this one by decision, but you can't disrespect Grasso too much, or else it's almost like you have to pick her. Because when someone has an advantage, a clear advantage, they have a clear route. If they have a chance of implementing that in any way, then you got to go for them if they're a massive underdog. But like I said, it's going to be Natalia's fight to lose because her style is going to be very hard to deal with, especially in women's MMA where not a lot of
Oh
crazy
yeah.
damage normally happens. So they're going to be looking at all those little tiny little hits, the good footwork and make the good defense and all that stuff. And it usually adds up to a good decision win for her. But yeah, don't underestimate Grasso. But I'm gonna go with Natalia.
I'm actually going Grasso on the other side. I think she's just too established. She's too, she beat Valentina, in my opinion, twice, and then she's a few other good wins on her resume. Macy Barber's had a resurgence, I guess you could call it. And on the other side, Silva, I don't know. I've been very impressed with her, but I just think she hasn't really. She's very good takedown defense, but I don't think she's really fought a grappler that good. Like Andrade is just good, but very undersized, even compared to up a weight class at 125. And I think Alexa just has that experience, that having been in there for so much time in the ring, that I think she can just find a way to win here. Might be ugly, probably will be ugly if I'm going to be honest, but yeah, I have the former champion here.
Do you think she has the wrestling to get Natalia down? Like when you see her getting her up against the cage, what method of takedown is she gonna do? Like upper body tripping, or like leg trips, or is she gonna go for the double? Like how do you actually see her being able to get Natalia down if she tracks her down and is able to grab a hold of her?
I think it's going to be. I want to say like a cage. It's going to be off the cage for sure. I think this fight, Alexa's going to want to close the distance on her. I think they have similar reaches. Let me just double check that. Yeah, pretty similar. So I think Alexa's going to be a little bit bigger in there, a little bit stronger. Muscle up against the cage. Maybe go for a judo double. She hit a few of those against. Somebody. It's been a while. Granted, you're the jiu-jitsu guy. You're the MMA guy. So I'll trust you when it comes to technique. Do you think the takedowns are there, or is this
I
going to be?
honestly don't think they're there, but they're gonna be the difference because for her to win, even if she doesn't get the takedown, she needs to use the threat of the takedowns to be able to break off and do some boxing damage. And I
Yeah.
actually do see that being a route to victory for her.
Ooh,
Not
interesting.
necessarily getting her down, but just landing her punches in those exits and entries of going for the takedown or the cage grab. So I actually do see a good route to victory for her. Not even she doesn't even have to get her down, but she did this I think quite a bit even with Valentina. She would land at very like breaking off the clinch. Like she would while Valentina would be trying to get away, she would like quickly throw a few punches right when they're like breaking off. So I think that's gonna be a really good route to victory for her if she can land the damage in between the transition to like clinching and stuff like that. Because everyone knows they want to get Natalia Silva up against the fence. That's everyone's game plan. She's like always
Mm.
skirting around in a circle. So they're just like, let me just stop this for a second. Let me grab a hold of her. But a lot of the times they don't do damage uh, when they're breaking off or right before that. And I think if Grasso can make that shift, could possibly get a decision here. It's going to be a close one. I know it's going to be a decision.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be real close. It'll be certainly interesting to see. I hadn't thought of that game plan. That's why you're the fighter, and I'm not. Well, a few more reasons than that. I can't take a punch, but yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll have to see. Maybe you mentioned Silva's kicks. Maybe Grasso can do another cool spin kick back take thing. No, that was probably a once in a lifetime thing for her.
Yeah, that was the lightning in the bottle for sure.
Yeah. Alrighty, next up, another legend here. A little bit more of a legend than Alexa Grasso, in my opinion. Jose Aldo, bantamweight, number 11, minus 238 versus number 14 ranked Imam Zahabi, plus 185. Something that kind of surprised me. These guys are the same age. They are both 37.
Wow.
Which you'd think for a guy. Jose Aldo's been fighting since he was, I want to say 16, 15, something like
Yeah.
that. And Zahabi on the other side, I guess he got into MMA late because he hasn't had that many fights. Took some time off too. But yeah, Aldo's the former champion at bantamweight. Most recently, he had that stinker versus Bautista, where made everybody turn against Bautista. Yeah, this one's me. I don't know why they keep facing Jose Aldo off with nobodies. They could have had him fight Dominic Cruz, uh, Frankie Edgar before he retired. Who else? Have him go up to
Peter Yan
bantamweight.
rematch. There's
Exactly.
so many fights at 135, endless amount. He beat Marlon Vera the last time they fought. Like do a rematch there.
Exactly.
Like there's so many good fights for him. But yeah, I'll let you finish here.
Yeah,
It just
even
irks
just
me out.
give him Sean O'Malley. Who gives a fuck? Just not Eamon Zahabi. That being said, I do think he wins here. Zahabi wants to strike with him, or is probably going to want to strike with him. He doesn't. He averages 0.16 takedowns a fight, so he is not out here getting takedowns. These are two striking guys, and you got to go with Aldo. I mean, we showed the way to beat him is push him up against the cage, but I just don't think Zahabi can change his. We haven't seen him do that really at all before. I can't imagine it's that easy, that many fights in your career to just change your entire game plan, start holding Jose Aldo up against the cage, and I think Aldo's still got a bunch of power. Power's. They always say power's the last thing to go. I think Zahabi might land more on him, but I think Aldo can kind of his defense is probably still there, and I think he can kind of start and end the exchanges with a little bit more power, maybe make a little bit more on the appearance on the judges. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that this one isn't boring. Do you think it's going to be boring or not?
Well, what happens with a lot of these Aldo fights is a lot of the time guys respect Aldo so much, and then they end up staring and kind of waiting for him to explode on them. And then Aldo himself already has a style where the pace is not the fastest. He explodes in moments, right? So most likely it isn't going to be like a barn burner, from bell to bell. Because, like I said, I know his hobby's going to show Aldo lots of respect, and Aldo already has a style to wait and explode. So it's not going to be a barn burner. But if you're asking me who I think is going to win, I do think Aldo should win. I mean, it's MMA, right? Who knows? Like, a couple punches land here and there, and if it's a close fight, they give it to Zahabi in Canada. But I think overall, Aldo's the better offensive boxer, the better defensive boxer, the better kicker, the better jiu-jitsu guy on paper, 10 times the wrestling defense than Zahabi has offense of wrestling. So it's like he's gonna be more physical. He's jacked always. Um, yeah, he's not you're not gonna finish him. You're not gonna submit him. You're not gonna take him down. It's gonna turn into a boxing fight. And I think Aldo has the more technical hands. He's been doing a lot of boxing lately. And I think Aldo should be able to get it done, man. It's probably going to be a decision, but hopefully they don't screw him like they did that Batista fight. And yeah, Aldo's still explosive, man. He's still got the only thing he's lost mostly is his his footwork and speed. Like
Yeah.
he's very plotty nowadays, and he kind of waits. He turned into like a counter boxer where he kind of waits for you to throw like a jab, and then he'll counter over top and like 2 or 3 punch combo. And he's gotten away from his kicks a bit too, which kind of sucks because that's one of
Yeah.
the lethal things. But even with all that, I think his boxing is enough to get it over Zahabi here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I always like when fighters, as they lose a little something, they change their games and still find a way to keep winning. It's not always the most exciting. Like look at Andrei Arlovski. He was still winning at 42. Some pretty boring fights, but you said the takedown defense. Merab Dvalishvili, the champion, 0 for 16. Mario Bautista 0 for 10. So that's definitely still there.
Aldo's been taken down like twice or once in his whole UFC career, and that's not even an understatement. Like that's legit facts. He has like
Yeah,
a 90% like defense rate. It's crazy.
93. I'm looking at it right now. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Um, and yeah, hopefully Aldo gets a win for maybe not the Canadians. They probably won't be too happy, but I'll bet you the rest of the MMA fans, probably some Canadians too, will be happy. All right. Next up, first of 2 championship fights, women's flyweight. The champion, number 1 pound for pound, Valentina Shevchenko, is an underdog, plus 130 to the number 2 ranked, number 5 pound for pound, Manon Fiorot. We just talked about Valentina's last fight. Fiorot on the other side beat Erin Blanchfield a little over a year ago in New Jersey, of all places. So yeah, this one, let's see. I did Aldo. Yeah, Radley, this one's you. Do you see the underdog champion for some reason keeping her belt, or the French woman taking a I think would this be the first title back to France? First undisputed, right?
No, gone. Undisputed, I guess you're right. He was interim.
Wow, that's crazy. Maybe the first
Yeah.
title back to France.
Yeah, and she's got a good chance, man. I don't know
Yeah.
the tail of the tape. I don't know how much bigger she is than Valentina.
Let's take a look. Pretty much the same. 2 inches of height, like half an inch of reach.
2 inches of height. Okay, so she is gonna be bigger. She's definitely like more muscular and like
Oh yeah.
developed and muscular wise. Man, I love Valentina, dude. She's such a nice person. I actually got a chance to work with her on set for like 3-4 days,
Right.
or was it 3 days? Yeah, like 3 days. And she's
Wow.
such a nice woman, and she's got obviously a very good striking game. People underestimate her grappling and jiu-jitsu, but she's gotten so many wins by submission. So it's like how can you overlook it now? But I think it's because her striking is so good. But in women's MMA, sometimes it's easier to just submit someone than it is to just pound their heads in, right? Because
Yeah.
the power thing, it's like it's hard to knock a girl out with one punch. So the only problem I'm having is I think Fiora is a bit quicker and has a little bit more footwork right now on the feet. She's going to be longer. She's going to be stronger. And the judo is going to really help her negate a lot of that
Oh yeah.
grappling. Um, I still think Valentina's got better boxing and all that, but she does tend to have a stationary kind of Muay Thai style, a little more plotty when it comes to her movement in general. Man, I really don't want to go against Valentina here. But for the people, I'm gonna give them what I think. Like stylistically, I think Fiorot might get it done here. As I'm not super confident on it, but just breaking it down style wise, it's gonna be hard for Valentina to get her grappling off. Fiorot is a great judo player. She's faster on the feet. She has good kicks as well. I still think Valentina is the better striker, but that
Mhm.
might not matter when someone's dancing around quicker than you, bigger than you, and is a good striker themselves, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think she's gonna finish Valentina by any means. I think it's gonna be a decision. And I mean, I would love for Valentina to leave champion. So if I'm wrong, thank God. But yeah, stylistically, it's gonna be a hard one for Valentina. I'm leaning towards Manon Fiorot here.
I'm with you. Two numbers are really giving me the what's the word? Pushing me over the edge. 93% takedown defense for Manafiro and almost double the strikes landed per minute. She lands 6, Valentino lands 3 or so. So I think Fiorot.
What's the age? What's the age discrepancy?
Only 2 years. Valentina's 37. Manon is 35. So
Wow, she's old, eh? A
yeah,
lot older than I thought.
kind of surprised me. Um, but in terms of like fight time, so much younger. And I think the wear and tear is finally getting to Valentino a little bit. She's lost. She lost to Grasso, drew with Grasso, and then she had that weird split decision with Tyler Santos. Where some people thought she lost. So I'm going Fiorot here. Like you though, I would be fine with Valentina win. It'd probably be exciting too. You know,
Mhm.
more likely of a likelihood of a finish, I'd say on the Valentina side. But yeah,
Yeah,
and
I see
finally,
that, especially with the strikes per minute. Now that you're mentioning it and thinking back to how she fights, she's probably gonna out pace her and out
yeah,
just be more active. She's just gonna be doing Valentina. I think is the more better technical striker if you were to sit there and have him just kickbox it out in a boxing ring. But with MMA cage, you
yeah.
can't really stop someone from circling. You can't really stop someone from being in and out as much. And with her activity, I think is going to add up, and her takedown defense and her size. It's just you lean. What's the odds for that fight?
Minus 150 for Manon actually. Valentina's the underdog, so they're with us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but you can't really place her too big of an underdog. But with MMA lines
No,
nowadays, you never know. As
you
soon
never
as
know.
they think, okay, this person should win, so let's make it so nobody can make a dime.
Yeah, if it gets, we'll have to. We record the bets episode in 3 or 4 days, so maybe this line moves, and if Valentina gets much bigger, I would definitely put a wager on her. Um,
For sure, for sure.
Main event. We'll talk about finishing upside. I would bet you money. If there's a finish, it's only going to be one of these two guys. Welterweight championship main event. The champion, number 7 ranked, pound for pound, Belal Muhammad, big favorite, minus 240 against number 5 ranked Jack Della Maddalena, plus 195. We got two guys on long winning streaks. Maddalena, 17 fight winning streak. Muhammad, 9 fight winning streak. Most recently winning the title off of Leon Edwards. That was a crazy fight. This is me first. I'm actually going with JDM. I think he knocks him out here. More than anything, I went back and watched the first round of that the first Leon Edwards fight with Muhammad, and it was 4 years ago, sure, but I don't know, just something in there gave me some kind of a premonition, and I look forward. And granted, the only thing that the only reason I feel the line's so in Muhammad's favor, I would say he should be the favorite, but a little closer. Champion is Jack Della Maddalena. He actually is a 70% takedown defense, but he got taken down 7 times against Gilbert Burns last time out. So, you got to wonder if Gilbert Burns at this age is taking you down and winning 2 out of 3 rounds. Is Bilal Muhammad going to be able to do the same thing? You'd think so. That being said, I think JDM, he's got 5 rounds in there. I think he can find a shot, maybe keep it on the feet for a minute or two in the second round, and I just think his power and his striking is so good. Maybe I'm biased too, because that would be probably a little bit more fun of a fight. Now, are you a Bilal Muhammad fan as a Canadian? I heard rumors that he was like Canadian people liked him. Maybe they were just trying to sell this fight in Canada for some reason. What's the Bilal Muhammad vibe up there?
I honestly don't think I've ever met a Bilal Muhammad fan, so I don't know what they look like. But definitely you can't assume me. I'm not. I don't hate the guy at all, and I don't dislike his style, but it's just sometimes you're a fan of a dude or you're not, right? So
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't be like, I hate that guy, I hate his style. I respect it. I definitely appreciate it, and I look up to some of the stuff he does, but definitely like I'm Charles Oliveira fan, Alex Pereira fan, like
Yeah.
those are guys that I'm like, yeah, but definitely not the biggest fan. So you're going with JDM.
I am going with JDM, yeah.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm not Bilal Muhammad fan, but I can't deny his success and
Yeah.
the skills he has. JDM, all the stuff you said is correct about him, man. He's got really good power, really crisp striking, pretty suspect takedown defense, but when he gets taken down, he does not stop to get back up. He doesn't settle. So that's one thing that's good. But just looking at the experience that Bilal now has over him and facing a lot of the top dudes already and having more 5-round experience and having just the style that people say is just terrible for JDM. If you look at his fight against he fought like a debuting guy one time. That bald dude, I forget his name. He just
Basel
fought
Hafez.
Yes, he fought Basel Hafez, and that was a terrible showing for him. He got taken down
That
left,
was.
right, and center. And the thing about Bilal Muhammad that's changed a lot in his game since that first Leon fight is his confidence in the striking. Like now he just kind of has this air of like, I don't care if I'm going to get hit. I'm just going to walk forward, throw punches, and get you down. Where before he'd be like, oh, okay, let me skirt around, let me go for a takedown, and if I don't get it, then I got to go back on the back foot. Now he's like, no, I'm on the front foot. I'm going to punch you. I don't care if I get punched, but then if you do, I'm going to take you down. And I think it's hard to shake that feeling if you're already a guy who's used to good grapplers coming for you. It's hard to shake the feeling of like, okay, I need to worry about the takedown defense. I feel like that's gonna basically for JDM to win this fight, he's gonna have to show more of himself than he's ever shown before. He's gonna have to show up at another level. Whereas Bilal Muhammad, he can show up at the level he's shown up before, and we've seen him do countless times and get the win. So that's kind of the thing. You're kind of asking for more of than JDM has shown you to be able to get this win, because, like you said, if Bilal's taking you down 7 times, he's not gonna get tired. He's gonna keep going until you start slowing down a little bit, and the takedowns get a little bit easier, and then it's just gonna turn into a nightmare. So if JDM doesn't put him out with like a body shot or something like that, even if he's defending the takedowns at first, I think eventually it's gonna start wearing on him, and he'll probably end up mauling him on the ground. But like I said, JDM does have a lot of power, and his boxing is super slick. So if he's looking for the body shots and really mixing the levels really well and really gets Bilal off that game of I don't care about getting punched, I'm gonna walk you down, then he has a chance. But he has to show up better than he ever has before. B, take Bilal out of the mentality of I don't care, I'm walking you down with some heavy punches, and C, probably get a finish, because if it goes to the decision, I don't know if his chances are the greatest in a 5-round fight. So with that being said, I'm gonna go Bilal Muhammad because he's already shown the skills and ability that it would take to beat a guy like JDM, but it would be cool to see a JDM finish. I'm not gonna lie.
It would be cool. That's got to be half of why I'm picking him too. It's a little bit of hope. But But you're the striker with you've had plenty of guys try to wrestle you, even though you got your own wrestling chops. NCAA guys come to try to wrestle you. So you're probably right, honestly. But I'm hoping to end the night with a bang. I'm the kind of guy. I don't know about you. I'm gonna be there first prelim, and I'm gonna be there like 20 minutes before, staying all the way through the main event. So.
Well, I'm in Montreal. I don't got nothing else to do, so I'll probably be there. Are you from Montreal or are you flying in there?
No, I'm in Georgia in the U.S., but
Oh,
going there for fun event. I'll give you some more details later. But we just kind of picked like the fight card, essentially the pay-per-view that just lined up, with the date for the thing we're doing, and it's pretty good. Montreal is a pretty good city. Can enjoy that. Pretty good fight card, I'd say. Especially after we broke it down. You kind of you opened my eyes to some of these fights that could be exciting, and closed my eyes to one. The what was it? I forget. The Malott fight. The Malott fight. I thought that was going to be entertaining, but you kind of convinced me. Maybe we get we'll call it a sparring session. There you go.
depends how Malott's coming. I feel like he's gonna dictate how this fight goes because you're right. He does have some good IQ, and when he wants to implement a game plan, he'll do it. And so it depends how risky he's feeling. He got a lot of flack for that last fight. I'm not gonna lie. Even
Yeah.
with a win, a lot of people were giving him shit. So, I actually didn't think about that when I was breaking it down, how that might weigh in. So maybe he just
Ooh,
goes in there and says, "Forget it, win, lose or draw. Let's give the fans what they want to see." So,
that'd be really
nonetheless,
interesting.
excited for it, man. Can't wait to be there. Enjoy a
Yeah.
good night of fights.
Awesome. I am going to skip, usually do a regional minute this time, but there's so much. I'm going to post it itself as its own short. Got like 10 fight cards, regional fight cards this week. So, real quick, UFC Fight Night, Burns versus Morales. It's late. You'll have to excuse me. Next week, back to the UFC Apex. We talked a little bit about that fight, but Radley, I'll just ask you one quick question before I let you go. Are you do you think this is such like a mismatch as I'm seeing on Twitter? Morales is going to kill Burns. He doesn't have a shot. Granted, these are people looking for reaction, so take that what you will. But you excited for this fight coming up, and do you think it's a little closer than people online are saying?
I definitely think it's a little closer because Morales his striking isn't technical at all. He uses more like just athleticism and youth kind of power
Mm-hmm.
to get things done. Burns is very technical. He's super experienced. His jiu-jitsu is gonna be better than anything Morales
Oh
has
yeah,
ever faced. Morales is good at taking people down. He's got good wrestling and stuff, and super athletic and young. And his physical attributes are definitely going to be a factor. But I don't know what the odds are. I wouldn't have him anything higher than like a minus 180 or something like that. If it gets anything,
minus 480 for
oh
Michael
my
Morales.
God. Like I said, you know how MMA is. If they think a guy should win, they'll make it so you can't make a dollar. So
Yep. Yep.
it's a lot of that, right? So I mean, yeah, don't even. Yeah, at those odds, you actually have to almost pick Burns, right? But it's just like, how is he gonna get it done? By decision? What is he gonna do? Hold him down? What is he gonna do? Pick him apart on the feet? It's just like I kind of see him, if anything, maybe getting a finish or like a submission or something.
I could see it.
So I don't
World
know, man.
champion.
His Morales should win just because of his physical attributes. He's so big, young, good
You think.
grappler, and all that. But I would never have him at minus 480 if I was lining it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm gonna have to think on that one. I'm gonna have to think for. I got about a week before I record this the preview show for it. I don't know. It's gonna be an
Yeah.
Apex card. I'll
It's
tell
very
you that
rare
for
that
sure.
I see underdogs where I'm like, no, this one should win for sure. But like the week that just happened, they had a boost like at a slight underdog, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
he's gonna win that fight. That was a pretty obvious one. But at that whole card, I'm like, man, this is a favorites all around. So it's like most of the time I'm with the bookies on the favorites. It's just they make them such big favorites where you can't
Yeah.
even get any action on it. But
Exactly.
that's a whole nother thing.
That is. I actually have Pereira, so I'm a little I bet
Oh,
on him
come
too.
on, dude. Come
I
on.
know. I know.
No, dude, you had to have seen in the first 60 seconds you made a grave
Oh my
mistake.
God. 30 seconds.
Yeah, you could just see how he was standing. Like he almost looked like something was deeply wrong. Like
Uh
he was like standing, his feet were narrow, and he was on the back foot, and I'm like, uh-oh, he's screwed.
yeah, Fluffy. Looks like Fluffy broke him.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Damn shame. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on, Bradley. Really enjoyed having you on. Brand new perspective. We haven't really had fighters on, especially nobody of your caliber. As well as a Canadian, had to have a Canadian on for the UFC Canada card.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to have you back on sometime. Looking forward to seeing you fight some point this year, and yeah, thank you as
Yeah,
well for watching.
we'll recap our picks live at the event.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, we'll have to. Um, hopefully, we go somehow both go 12-0, even though we pick
Yeah.
different fighters. But
Somehow, some way. I don't always pick fight. A lot of the time, round props are a lot more
oh yeah,
easy to pick. But yeah, it's
that
awesome, man.
is
Thanks a lot for having me, dude. I love breaking down fights. It's what I do for a living now. So like, not breaking down fights, but yeah, breaking down fights. Literally
Yeah.
looking at my opponents. Looking at styles and how they match up, physicality, mentality, trajectory, all that stuff. It all comes into play. There's so many variables in MMA. That's why.
Yeah.
For some people, it's one of the easiest sports to line because the bookies aren't super sharp on it yet, as sharp as other sports. But in a lot of aspects, it's the hardest sport in the world to line because you get out there, someone dude gets kicked in the nuts, and maybe the ref doesn't call it, but it affects the rest of the fight.
Oh,
There's just
God.
so many things. So yeah, it's a hard sport, but it's good to get down and get some like-minded people together and break it down for the people that maybe don't know as much. So.
Exactly. And that's why we love it. It's such a crazy sport. You've said it 10 times already. Anything can happen. And that's kind of why we watch, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks so much. And thank you for watching, for listening. Hope you enjoy the fights. See you later.